Hello there, welcome back to another session on Java programming. In this session, we're going to take a look at enumerated data types in Java. We'll see how to declare an enumerated data type inside the class and also outside the class, how to use an enumerated data type with a constructor, and how to use other methods within an enumerated data type. We'll also look at the various methods associated with enumerated data types like values, valueOf, ordinal, toString, etc. If you are interested in downloading the code that we are going to see in this session, please visit codespindle.com. Under the category Programming, select Java. On the left hand side, you'll have this option Enumerated Data Types. And when you click on that option, you'll be able to see the code on that specific page. So let's go to the demonstrations straight away. In this demonstration, let's take a look at the use of enumerated data types. We'll call that enum in Java. What is an enumerated data type? It is a class that contains fixed constants as its data members. So this class can also have a private constructor and also other methods. But you cannot create an object out of this class. So these are some properties of enumerated data types. So these data types can be declared within a class or outside the class. And they can have a private constructor and also other methods. But they are not used for creating objects. And all the data members for this class will be an fixed constant. I know you might be confused now. Let's declare an enumerated data type called semesters inside a class first. So I'll use this class test project. I'll declare an enumerated data type. I'll call this to be public, and enum is the data type, and the name for this is semesters. Say in VIT we have different kinds of semesters. Fall, so that's one of the semesters. Say we are saying fall is a constant, right? And we're not giving that in quotes, just separate the semesters with a comma. The next semester is winter, and the next semester is summer, and finally weekend. Don't give the constants within quotes, separate them with a comma and mention them in capital letters. These are the standards, and this semicolon here is optional. So I have declared an enumerated data type called semesters, and these are the 4 semesters: fall, winter, summer and weekend. Now how to access the values within this data type inside our main method? For this I'm going to use a for loop for every semester from the semesters data type, enumerated data type. So how is that I'm going to run through every value inside the semesters enumerated data type is I'll call semesters.values. So everything, say fall is of type semesters, winter is of type semesters. That's why I'm accessing everything and I'm saying that it's of type semesters. Say if you have an integer array and you're using an enhanced for loop, how is that you access that? Int a from that array, right? The same way you have an enumerated data type called semesters, and each constant here represents an object of type semesters. So semesters.values will bring in every constant out, and then it will be mapping to s, and we can also print that sys out s. Let's take a look at the output now. You see, bring every constant from the semesters data type. So you're going to get fall, move it to s, print that. Likewise, bring winter, move it to s, print s. So you're able to access every value inside this data type. The next thing is, can we have an enumerated data type outside the class? Yes, we can very well have this. So let's take it outside the class, the same declaration, but it should not be public. So now we have this enumerated data type declared outside the class, and you see here fall, winter, summer, weekend, and the same code, it's going to work fine. So what is the output here? You see the same output. What is that we understand here is an enumerated data type contains all its data members to be constants. They are not going to change. And what we understand is we can declare that within a class. We can also declare that outside a class. Are you clear with this? Now let us take a look at the use of certain methods of the enum data type. So let's take a look at certain methods. We have already seen one of the methods, dot values. What is the use of dot values? It's going to bring out all the values inside this enumerated data type. So we have already seen one of the methods, that is dot values. What is the use of this method? It brings in every value from the enumerated data type. Okay. So now let us take a look at other methods too. The first method we are going to take a look at is, we will see the use of valueOf method. What is the use of valueOf method? Say, I just want to print semesters dot valueOf, and then I'll pass this string winter. So it's going to return the corresponding constant for this string. We are passing in a string. What is the corresponding match for the string? This is the winter constant inside the enumerated data type. So what will be the output here? It will be winter. So if I'm going to pass something in smaller case and then search for it, what will be the output? It's going to be an exception, because there was no such match for this particular string inside this enumerated data type. So you have to give that in caps, and then you have to search for it. If you are going to search for something that's not existing, say test, what is that you're going to encounter? You're going to get an illegal argument exception error. It's an exception that's arising because this specific value that you're passing in as a string is not present inside the enumerated data type. Okay, are you clear with this? The use of valueOf method. So it takes in the string and finds the corresponding constant that's present inside semesters, and it returns for us. Next is the use of ordinal method in enumerated data types. Ordinal method. What is the use of ordinal method? It returns us the index where exactly the value or the constant we are asking for exists inside that specific enumerated data type. Say for instance, if I'm going to perform semesters dot ordinal. No, I'm sorry. For instance, if you are searching for winter, semesters dot valueOf, and I'm going to search for winter, and I want to display the ordinal, it's dot ordinal. So what it does is it searches for winter, so it gets winter and it returns the index. So what will be the index here? It's 1. If you're going to search for something that's not even present, you're going to get an exception. Let's try one more way. This is semesters dot, I can directly access winter dot ordinal. See, this is also possible. So it returns a 1, semesters dot winter dot ordinal. So it goes to this place and then it returns the index. If I search for semesters dot test dot ordinal, of course it's not going to work. We have seen what we are going to get. So it's going to throw you an error. If I want to access the index for summer, so it's semesters dot summer dot ordinal. So what will be the output here? It's going to be 2. So I hope you have understood the use of ordinal method with respect to enumerated data types. Let's now understand the use of compareTo methods. compareTo methods. Now compareTo uses the ordinal value for comparing two constants. Say for instance, I compare fall with winter. The output is going to be a -1 because this is 0 and this is 1. So it will be 0 minus 1. Let's check this out. So it's going to be semesters dot. Let's check it out. Semesters dot fall dot compare to will perform semesters dot winter. So what should be the output? -1. Why it is -1? Because semesters dot fall is an index 0, so it uses the ordinal here. And then semesters dot winter is 1, so 0 minus 1 is -1. Let's compare the constant summer with winter using the compareTo method. So summer is in index 2, winter is in index 1, so 2 minus 1 will be 1. So let's perform this semesters dot summer dot compareTo semesters dot winter. What will be the output? 1. I hope now you have understood how the compareTo method works with respect to enumerated data types. The next method we are going to take a look at is the use of toString method. So what is the use of toString method? It's going to take a constant and return the string version of it. So let's access a constant, say it's semesters dot fall dot toString. So now this fall is a constant. It is returned as a string. Let's save it in string s, and let's print s to the output. So what is that we are seeing here? We are taking a constant, we are converting that to a string, so we are storing it in this variable, printing that. Let's execute this. So you're going to get fall, which is a string. Now you can apply the string handling methods on this particular return value. That's the use of toString method. So we have learned certain methods from the enumerated data type like values, valueOf. We have seen ordinal, we have seen toString, and we have also seen the use of compareTo method. Now let us take a look at the use of enumerated data types. Use of enumerated data types with switch case. So you can also use them with switch case statements. So for this, let me use the same semesters enumerated data type, and let me access one specific semester here. Semesters s is equal to semesters dot winter. So I'm accessing this semester, and that is represented as s here. See, I can very well use that with a switch case. So how is that you access that and use it with a switch case? You can call the switch statement, switch block. So you can use that with a switch case like this, switch of s. And when the case is fall, just say sys out, it's your fall semester. Break. When the case is winter, we can say sys out, it's your winter semester, and then break. We can also have a default statement here, default. We can say sys out, not the correct semester, and then break. Maybe we'll have another sys out after the switch block saying thanks for using our software. Okay, now let's execute this. How is that we are using an enumerated data type? We can access the value, and then we can pass it to the switch block. Based on the match, that particular case will execute. So here semesters.winter will return winter, which will in turn match with winter, and then each year winter semester should be the output. So semesters.winter will return winter, which will be mapped to s, and that will match this case. So each year winter semester is printed to the output. Finally, it comes out of the switch block, and thanks for using a software is printed to the output. I hope you have now understood how to use an enumerated data type with a switch case statement. We have seen the use of enumerated data types with switch case blocks. Now let us see the use of a constructor with an enumerated data type. So we can have constructors within enumerated data types. We can use enumerated data types like classes, but we cannot create objects out of enumerated data types. Let me show you how to have a constructor within an enumerated data type. So here we have fall, winter, summer, weekend. These are the four constants. After this, we'll have a semicolon and we'll have a constructor. The constructor can be private or it can be at the package level, but we cannot have constructors that are public or protected. So this is not allowed. Only we can have private or package level constructors. Let me say it's a private constructor. The name of the constructor should match the name of the enumerated data type variable name. So it is semesters here, it's a method. And what is the time performing inside this method is I will just print all the constants in the string format using .toString method. Now we have a constructor here. How to access this constructor? For this, let me delete all this code pertaining to my previous demo on switch cases. So we have declared a constructor. How to access this constructor is the next question. When we access a constant inside the enumerated data type, this constructor will be called. So let me access a constant here. Let's say semesters. S is equal to semesters dot fall. So when you access a constant, the constructor will be called and the constructor is going to run and it's going to print all these constants in their string format. Let me execute this and you'll be able to see the output fall, winter, summer, weekend. So how we have accessed the constructor? By accessing the constant within the enumerated data type. So that's how you can access the constructor. Now let us take another program under constructors. It's a variation. So what is it we are going to perform here is we are going to get in a string input. It's going to be a parameterized constructor here. So we're going to get a string input and we are going to associate this string that we are getting in to our variable called duration. So this dot duration. What is this duration? Duration is going to be a private string duration. And we are going to initialize whatever input that we are getting to this dot duration. So what is that the input that's going to come here? That will be mentioned here, say June to December. Say I'm just associating more information with this constant fall. A fall semester will happen between June and December. So whenever I access fall, this information June to December should be moved to this string duration. So how that happens is when I access this constant fall, the constructor will be called and this info June to December will be moved to this variable duration and this will be assigned to this dot duration. And I can also have another public method, public void display info. And inside this method, what is that I can perform is I can just display duration, this dot duration. So what is that I'm performing here is I'm associating more information with every constant. Fall semester happens between June and December. Winter semester is going to happen between January and April. Say let's say Jan to April. And summer will happen anywhere between May and June. And weekend semesters will happen on Saturdays and Sundays. Let's say Saturday to Sunday. So that's it. So whenever you access a constant, the constructor will be called and this information will be passed to the parameter here and that will assign that to the duration. And we can call the display info method. See, we can also have methods, other methods other than the constructor in our enumerated data type. And we can, when we access this method, this dot duration will be printed for that constant. So let's access semesters dot fall. So what will be S here? That will be fall. and we'll also print sysout s dot duration, s dot display info. Now let us access fall. How is that you access fall? You have the code for here. Semesters.fall is equal to semesters s. So when you're accessing the constant, the constructor will be automatically called. June to December will be populated to this dot duration. And when we call this method, this dot duration will be printed. Say for instance, I'll just say sysout the semester is, it is nothing but s, and we'll also call s dot display info, that is additional info with pertaining to this semester. So when you run this code, you'll be able to see the semester is fall and the duration is June to December. So like that, when you access winter, say winter, if you're going to access, what is going to be the output? The semester is winter, and when you're calling winter, Jan to April will be passed to duration. So private string duration is going to have Jan to April, and here when I display info, it will be displaying Jan to April. Are you all clear with this? Can I repeat this? Say when I access a constant, the constructor will be called. So when you're calling the constructor, Jan to April will be passed to duration, and this dot duration will be initialized with Jan to April. And when you call display info, this dot duration will display Jan to April. So for every constant we are calling, that specific duration will be associated to the variable duration. Let's execute this. So you see semester is winter, Jan to April. So this is another concept with respect to constructors, wherein you can pass parameters for the constructors and initialize a variable that will be associated with having more information about the constant. And one more thing we have learned in this session, that is we have learned the use of other methods other than the constructors. So here we have a private constructor and we also have a public method which we are accessing here using the variable semesters. S is equal to semesters dot winter. So here S represents a constant from within the enumerated data type, that is winter, and we use this variable and then we access the method s dot display info. So I hope you were able to follow the concepts on enumerated data types. With that, we are coming to an end of this session. If you're interested in downloading the code that we have seen in this session, please take a look at codespindle.com, click on programming and then go to Java. On the side menu, you'll have the option for enumerated data types. When you click on that, you'll be able to see the page containing the code we have seen in this session. So with that, we are coming to an end of this session. If you have any questions, leave it as comments below. I'll be checking those comments, and thank you all for listening. Take care.